The Silent Watchers. The great chamber of the Galactic Tribunal stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian. Representatives from 47 different species sat in their designated sections, each area designed to accommodate their unique physiological needs. The air itself was carefully controlled, maintaining different atmospheric compositions in various zones. Through advanced environmental fields, Councillor Vexter of the Zephyrian Collective floated in his transparent sphere, his translucent blue form rippling with concern. As the Tribunal's chief intelligence officer, he had called this emergency session after discovering something that challenged everything they thought they knew about galactic civilization. High Arbiter Kolthik presided from the central dais, her ancient form barely visible within the shimmering energy field that kept her alive. The Catherian species had existed for over 50 million years, and their wisdom guided the Tribunal's decisions. When she spoke, her voice resonated through quantum frequencies that every species could understand. Councillor Vextar has requested this emergency assembly, Kolthik announced. The matter concerns a species we have overlooked for far too long. Present your findings. Vexter activated the chamber's holographic systems, the air above the assembly filled with star charts and data streams. Esteemed colleagues, for the past 3,000 years, we have monitored the development of countless species across our galaxy. We have guided civilizations, prevented wars, and maintained the delicate balance that keeps our galaxy peaceful. He paused, allowing the assembled representatives to absorb the familiar information. The Tribunal's role as galactic peacekeepers was well established. They intervened when necessary, always from a position of superior technology and wisdom. There is one species we classified as primitive and ignored, Vextar continued. The hologram shifted to show a small blue planet orbiting a yellow star. They call themselves humans. They inhabit the 3rd planet in a system they named Sol, located in what we considered an insignificant arm of the galaxy. A delegate from the Thoraxian hive mind clicked his mandibles impatiently. We are aware of the humans, Counselor. They have barely achieved faster-than-light travel. Their technology is centuries behind our own. Why do they concern us? Vexter. Form pulsed with a darker blue, indicating deep unease. That is what we believed. 3 days ago, our deep space monitoring station at Kepler 442 intercepted a transmission that changed everything. The hologram displayed complex waveforms and encrypted data patterns. This transmission was sent from human space to coordinates we have never explored. But the encryption methods, they are more advanced than anything in our databases. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The Zephyrians were renowned for their intelligence networks. If they couldn't decode something, it represented technology. Far beyond current galactic standards, there is more, Vexter said, his voice carrying a weight that silenced the chamber. We analyzed the transmission's routing protocols. The humans have been intercepting and decoding our communications for the past 2,000 years. The chamber erupted in shocked exclamations. Representatives from dozens of species began speaking at once, their voices creating a cacophony of concern and disbelief. High Arbiter Kolthik raised her hand, and immediate silence fell. Explain this claim, Counselor, she commanded. Vexter expanded the holographic display. Our investigation revealed something extraordinary. The humans have been tracking every major tribunal decision, every fleet movement, every diplomatic mission. They know about civilizations we haven't even made formal contact with yet. A new image appeared, showing a complex network of relay stations and hidden outposts scattered across the galaxy. These are human observation posts. They have been watching us watch them. Every species in this chamber has been under human surveillance for millennia. The representative from the Crystalline Confederation, her silicon-based body reflecting the chamber's lights, spoke with a voice like breaking glass. "This is impossible. Our sensors would have detected their presence, would they?" Vexter asked. "Show me the Vanguard incident." The hologram shifted to display the remains of an ancient space battle. Twisted metal and debris floated in the void. The remnants of a tribunal peacekeeping mission that had gone terribly wrong 500 years ago. "We lost 3 entire fleets to an unknown aggressor in the Vanguard system," Vextar explained. "The enemy used weapons we had never encountered. They struck without warning and vanished completely. We classified it as an encounter with hostile extragalactic forces." He paused, allowing the memory of that devastating defeat to settle over. "The assembly, the humans were there. Our investigation has uncovered evidence that human vessels were present during the battle, but they weren't fighting against us." The hologram changed again, showing enhanced sensor data from the battle. Faint energy signatures that had been dismissed as background radiation now resolved into the shapes of sleek, advanced vessels. The humans were fighting the real enemy. While our fleets were being destroyed, human ships engaged for hostile forces and drove them away. They saved what remained of our forces, then disappeared before we could detect them. The silence in the chamber was deafening. The implications were staggering. If the humans had possessed such advanced technology 500 years ago, what were they capable of now? High Arbiter Kolthik leaned forward, her energy field flickering with intensity. "What evidence supports these claims?" Vexter gestured, and the hologram displayed a series of decoded transmissions. "We managed to crack a portion of human communications from that time period. The translations are illuminating." Text appeared in the air above the assembly, rendered in the common galactic script. "Tribunal forces taking heavy casualties. Hostile technology appears to be quantum disruption based. Recommend immediate intervention. Authorization code, Shepard. Confirmed. Engaging enemy vessels now." Another message followed. "Tribunal survivors secured. Enemy fleet retreating to extragalactic coordinates. Maintain stealth protocols. They must never know we were here." The chamber remained silent as representatives processed this information. The humans had not only witnessed the Tribunal's greatest military defeat, but had actively intervened to prevent it from becoming a complete disaster. "There are more incidents," Vextar continued. "The Helix Nebula colonization disaster, where we lost contact with 60,000 colonists. Human ships were there. The Scorpius War between the Montari and the Veclan empires, which ended mysteriously after 3 years of bloodshed. Human intervention. The disappearance of the rogue AI network that threatened to consume the Outer Rim. Human technology neutralized it. Each revelation struck the assembly like a physical blow. The humans had been secretly protecting galactic civilization for millennia, operating from the shadows while the Tribunal took credit for maintaining peace. Ambassador Vexlon of the Voidwalkers spoke from his containment field, his form consisting of controlled dark matter. "If they possess such capabilities, why have they remained hidden? What do they want?" That Vextar said, "is what we must discover." But there is one more thing you need to know. The hologram changed to show current stellar maps. Red markers appeared throughout the galaxy, indicating human presence. There were hundreds of them, These are confirmed human outposts and patrol routes as of today. They have been expanding their operations for the past millennium. Not conquest. Protection. Every major trade route, every vulnerable system, every strategic location where conflict might arise. They are there, watching, ready to intervene. Representative Mordok of the warrior clans slammed his armored fist against his seat. This is unacceptable. We are the guardians of galactic peace. How dare these primitives operate without our authority, are we? Vextar asked quietly. When was the last time we successfully prevented a major conflict without significant casualties? When did we last detect a serious threat before it was almost too late? The humans have been doing our job better than we have, and they've been doing it in secret. High Arbiter Kolthik stood slowly, her ancient form radiating authority. What do you recommend, Counselor? We must make contact, Vextar said, but not as we normally do with developing species. We must approach them as equals, perhaps even as superiors. They have been protecting this galaxy while we believed we were in charge. And if they refuse to acknowledge our authority? Asked the crystalline representative. Vextar's form pulsed with uncertainty. Then we may discover that our authority was always an illusion. The humans may have been allowing us to believe we were in control while they did the real work of keeping the galaxy safe. The weight of this possibility settled over the assembly. The Galactic Tribunal had existed for millions of years, guiding younger species and maintaining order. The idea that they had been operating under the silent oversight of humans challenged their fundamental understanding of their place in the universe. High Arbiter Kolthik raised her hand. We will vote. All in favor of initiating formal contact with the human species, acknowledging their apparent technological superiority and requesting explanation for their covert activities. Lights appeared throughout the chamber as representatives cast their votes. The counting seemed to take an eternity, but finally the results were displayed. The motion passes, Kolthik announced. Prepare a diplomatic fleet. Make it clear that we come seeking answers, not demanding submission. And Counselor Vextar, ... Yes, High Arbiter. Select our most capable commanders. If the humans have been watching us for millennia, they know our military capabilities better than we know theirs. This first contact may determine the future of galactic civilization. As the assembly began to disperse, representatives whispered among themselves, sharing concerns and theories. The discovery of humanity's secret role as galactic guardians had shattered their understanding of their place in the universe. Tomorrow, they would learn what the humans thought of finally being discovered. The Reckoning Response Admiral Chen Wei stood on the observation deck of the UES Meridian, humanity's most advanced command vessel, watching the approaching alien fleet through the transparent aluminum viewport. 300 ships of various designs moved in perfect formation toward Earth's outer defensive perimeter. It was the largest gathering of alien vessels in human-monitored space, and it had been expected for quite some time. Admiral, called Commander Sarah Mitchell from the Bridge Communications Station. The Tribunal fleet is requesting permission to enter Sol System. They're broadcasting on multiple frequencies, including several languages we've never heard them. Use publicly. Chen turned away from the viewport, his weathered face showing no surprise. At 68 years old, he had spent most of his life preparing for this moment. Humanity's long period of silent observation was finally coming to an end. Put me through to the Tribunal flagship, he ordered. Full diplomatic protocols. The main view screen activated, showing the bridge of an impressive alien vessel. The figure addressing them was clearly not human. A tall, elegant being with blue-tinted translucent skin floating within some kind of atmospheric containment field. This would be Councillor Vextar, according to their intelligence files. AM Admiral Chen Wei of the United Earth Defense Force, Chen began, speaking in perfect Zephyrian formal dialect. We have been expecting your arrival, Councillor Vextar. The alien's surprise was evident, even across species lines. His form flickered through several color changes before settling on a deep purple that indicated shock. You know who I am, Vextar said, switching to English with flawless pronunciation. You understand our languages. We understand many things, Counselor, Chen replied calmly. Your species has been remarkably thorough in your communications over the past few millennia. We've had ample opportunity to learn. Behind Vextar, other alien figures moved with obvious agitation. Chen could identify most of them from surveillance. Data, High Arbiter Kolthik of the Catherians, whose energy signature was unmistakable even through the view screen. Ambassador Vexlon of the Void Walkers, contained within his dark matter field, and at least a dozen other representatives from major galactic civilizations. Admiral Chen, High Arbiter Kolthik, spoke, her voice carrying the weight of 50 million years of civilization. We have come seeking answers. Our investigation has revealed that humanity has been observing our activities for an extended period. Chen nodded. 2,437 years, to be precise. Since your first exploratory mission reached the edge of our local stellar group, the silence on the alien bridge was deafening. Finally, Vextar found his voice. Why have you been watching us in secret? The same reason you watch other species, Chen replied. To learn, to understand, to determine whether contact would be beneficial for all parties involved. But you never made contact, protested Ambassador Vexlung. Even when we sent diplomatic missions to dozens of species in your region of space, you remained hidden. Chen's expression grew thoughtful. We made a decision early in our observations that direct contact with the tribunal would not serve the greater good of galactic civilization. Your approach to governance, while well-intentioned, often resulted in unnecessary conflicts and casualties. The alien representatives exchanged glances. Representative Mordok of the warrior clans leaned forward aggressively. You dare to judge us? We have maintained galactic peace for millions of years. Have you? Chen asked quietly. He gestured to Commander Mitchell, who activated a holographic display visible to both ships. The Vanguard incident. 3 tribunal fleets destroyed because your intelligence networks failed to detect the extragalactic threat until it was almost too late. The hologram showed the aftermath of the battle, but from a perspective the aliens had never seen before. Human vessels, previously undetected, moved through the debris field, rescuing survivors and engaging the mysterious enemy. The Helix Nebula disaster, Chen continued. 60,000 colonists lost because the tribunal approved colonization of a system without proper stellar analysis. They died when the star went nova 6 months early. The display changed, showing human ships evacuating the colonists before the disaster struck. We saved 58,400 lives that day. The tribunal never knew they were missing. Vextar's form had shifted to a deep crimson, indicating severe emotional distress. You saved them, but our records show they all perished. We relocated them to a suitable world in an uninhabited system. They've built a thriving civilization over the past 3 centuries. We maintain minimal contact to ensure their continued well-being. High Arbiter, Kolthik leaned forward, her energy field pulsing with intensity. How many times have you intervened without our knowledge? 1,743 major interventions, Chen replied without hesitation. Approximately 12,000 minor adjustments to prevent conflicts or disasters. We've been particularly active in preventing wars between species that the tribunal attempted to force into contact before they were culturally ready. The weight of these revelations settled over the alien delegation. Everything they believed about their role as galactic guardians was being systematically dismantled. The Scorpius War, whispered Counselor Vextar. It ended suddenly after 3 years. Both sides simply stopped fighting. We neutralized the weapons dealers who were prolonging the conflict for profit, Chen confirmed. Once the artificial scarcity of resources ended, the species found peaceful solutions to their territorial disputes. They've been allies for 4 centuries now. Commander Mitchell stepped forward. Admiral, we're receiving multiple priority signals from the other human fleet groups. They're requesting permission to decloak. Chen considered for a moment, then nodded. Approved. Full revelation. Protocol. Throughout the Sol system, space began to shimmer as hundreds of previously invisible human vessels revealed themselves. The aliens watched in stunned silence as their sensors registered ship after ship appearing around them. Advanced vessels, with technology that made their own ships seem primitive by comparison. This is impossible, breathed Representative Morduk. Our sensors are the most advanced in the galaxy. How were you able to remain hidden? Your sensors are advanced by the standards of your current technology, Chen acknowledged. But you've been developing within the limitations of your understanding. Humanity chose a different path. The view screen split to show multiple human vessels, each representing a different aspect of their hidden civilization. Science, ships that dwarfed anything in the Tribunal's database. Construction vessels that could build entire space stations in days rather than years. And most impressive of all, the defense platforms that had been silently protecting key systems throughout the galaxy. We've been your unseen partners for over 2 millennia, Chen continued. While you focused on governance and diplomacy, we specialized in prevention and protection. Every major threat to galactic civilization has been neutralized before it could reach the level where tribunal intervention was necessary. High Arbiter Kolthik's voice was barely above a whisper. Why reveal yourselves now? Because the galaxy is changing, Chen replied. New threats are emerging from beyond our local group. Challenges that will require unprecedented cooperation between all advanced species. The time for humanity to remain in the shadows has ended. The holographic display changed to show long-range sensor data from the galactic edge. Massive energy. Signatures moved through the void, heading toward inhabited systems. The scale of the approaching threat dwarfed anything the galaxy had previously encountered. The Devourers, Chen said grimly, an extragalactic force that consumes entire civilizations. They'll reach the outer systems within 50 standard years. The Tribunal's current military capabilities, even combined with all member species, would be insufficient to stop them. Vextar's form flickered through multiple colors as he processed this information. You've known about this threat? We've been tracking their approach for 3 centuries. We've been preparing defensive measures and developing technologies specifically designed to counter their capabilities. But we cannot do it alone. The alien delegation fell silent as they absorbed the magnitude of what they were being told. Humanity had not only been secretly protecting the galaxy, but had been preparing for threats the Tribunal didn't even know existed. What do you propose? Asked High Arbiter Kolthik. A new form of cooperation, Chen replied. Not the traditional tribunal model of governance and compliance, but a true partnership. Humanity will share our defensive technologies and intelligence networks. In return, we need access to the tribunal's manufacturing capabilities and the combined resources of all member species. You want us to become your junior partners? Representative Mordock said suspiciously. Chen shook his head. We want you to become our equals. For 2 millennia, we've been the silent guardians while you handled the visible aspects of galactic civilization. Now we need to work together openly. The Devourers won't be stopped by secrecy or diplomatic protocols. Councillor Vexstar floated closer to his view screen. If we agree to this partnership, what assurance do we have that humanity won't simply take control of galactic civilization? The same assurance you've always had, Chen replied with a slight smile. If we wanted to control the galaxy, we could have done so at any time over the past 2,000 years. Instead, we chose to protect it. That hasn't changed. The alien bridge erupted in quiet discussion as representatives conferred among themselves. Finally, High Arbiter Kolthik spoke for the delegation. We will need time to consider your proposal. The implications are ... significant. Of course, Chen agreed. But while you deliberate, the threat continues to approach. Every day of delay means fewer options for defense. How long do we realistically have to prepare? Asked Vexter. Expression grew grim. If we begin full cooperation immediately, sharing all technologies and resources, we estimate a 67% chance of successful defense. Every month of delay reduces those odds significantly. The weight of decision settled over the tribunal delegation. They had come seeking answers about humanity's covert activities. Instead, they had discovered that their entire understanding of their role in the galaxy was fundamentally flawed. Now they faced a choice that would determine the fate of every civilization in their local group. High Arbiter Kolthik's energy field pulsed thoughtfully. We will convene an emergency session of the full Tribunal Council. All member species must be informed of these revelations. Understood, Chen replied. We'll maintain our current positions while you deliberate. But remember, Arbiter, the Devourers don't care about our political discussions. They're coming whether we're ready or not. As the communication ended, Admiral Chen turned back to the viewport. The alien fleet remained in formation, its representatives undoubtedly struggling to process everything they had learned. Humanity's long period of silence was over. Now came the more difficult task of building a new kind of galactic civilization, based on true cooperation rather than hidden protection. The universe was about to become a much more interesting place.